Steve, will you stay with your look to start at center tonight, or is it going to be
ZaZa's going to start.
yeah.
Steve, Steven Adams is such an effective screener, and obviously he's a really big guy and a really strong guy, but what is it about him that makes it so he's just so like accurate and getting guys caught up on his screens, whatever type of screens they might be?
He's a smart player, and he's obviously enormous. You know, I mean, he moves well, and so he gets his body in the right spot, and then it's a rock solid screen. So he's one of the best in the league at that.
How coachable is that skill?
I think it's very coachable, but there's also a feel to it, and you know, some guys just have a better knack for it than others.
We just talked not that long ago. So.
Yeah,
I asked my questions this morning.
I know you have to be here. I have to be here.
Your guard rotation, obviously, you're down like what, 18 guards are
Yeah.
out right now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how challenging does that make it? You've been through some of this before, but tonight it's like,
Yeah. The coaches were calling Draymond Mateen Cleaves today. That'll give you a little idea of where we're heading tonight.
I believe you too.
Yeah.
Steve, how do you walk the line of making certain you don't incur any additional injuries in the final 5 games, regardless of what you guys do? You're locked into where you are. Is that a challenge at all from your perspective? You've not had this sort of situation in
In terms of resting guys?
Yeah, well, resting, or how many minutes you play them, or just your feel for who should be out there at what time?
It just depends on the circumstance. And tonight is tricky because we're down so many guards. Definitely not going to run anybody into the ground. So you might see some interesting lineups out there. But it's just a matter of getting through in one piece. That's the biggest goal tonight. But I also don't believe in just sitting guys out, because I do think you need rhythm going into the playoffs. So we'll try to find that balance.
Steve, what is it about Cook? Is it something about his game or his makeup that has allowed him to be successful the way that he has?
He's a great shooter, you know, 50, 40, 90 in the G League. So we know he can shoot, but he's also a very mature player, very professional in his approach. Guys on the team love him. He's a hard worker. He's, you know, he's just a pro. He just gets it.
Hey, Steve, considering the guard situation, what have you liked with how Kevin and Draymond have handled those playmaking roles?
I love the way they push the ball. You know, when they play with pace and they push the ball, made or missed, up the floor, it sets up. It sets a good tone for our offense, and that's what we're looking for, is to keep that pace going.
Draymond was like almost sprinting the ball up the floor
Yeah.
last game. Was that him, or did you guys talk pregame like,
Both.
hey, dude?
Both, yeah, we've talked about it. We want to get back to that, and but he does that pretty naturally anyway. But it's effective, obviously, because you got shooters around him, and you know, generally speaking, he's being guarded by a 4-man who's not used to having to deal with that. And I always like a good push to start a possession. You know, get the ball up the floor. If nothing happens, you're going to have a few extra seconds to work with on the shot clock. You may end up with a cross match, but you set a good tone. It just sets the right tone for the possession, rather than just getting it out and walking it up and everybody looking, you know, like their dog died or something.
What do you think is the hardest thing to play against Thunder tonight?
Hardest thing about playing the Thunder? They've just got a ton of talent. You know, they've got a lot of guys who can cause problems out there. Westbrook, Paul George, you know, Melo, and obviously Steven Adams. So they got, you know, they've done a good job of sort of rebuilding last couple of years on the fly and adding pieces to what they've already had. And I like their reserve unit. They've got a lot of length and athleticism, and they play hard.
Are you optimistic that Pat could come back at some point in the regular season?
I have no idea. We're going to reevaluate him Thursday, and then we'll have a better sense then. But until then, I'm not even going to think about him. All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Steve.